right, you ready to do this?
Yes, yes.
All right, give me a high five. All right.
Hello, fans. I'm Wyatt, and I am interviewing special guest here, Ken Adams, and I am going to learn about blockchain with him. And make sure to stay tuned for the special message at the end. Now, let's get going.
Cool.
First, what is blockchain?
Well, blockchain in general is like a ledger that's digital. Do you know what a ledger is?
Yeah, it's like a book accountants use.
You're right. Yep. And this is a digital ledger that not only the accountants use, but everyone has access to. It's a decentralized ledger that's digital.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, that's the easiest way to say it in about one sentence.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Continue.
Sure. So using blockchain technology has been around since the 90s, and a lot of people use it to keep track of inventory especially. So like major, big time corporations and companies use it. I don't want to use their names right now, but they exist. They're in America all over the place. Imagine trying to keep track of one item, putting it on a truck, sending it to a box store, letting somebody buy it. It all gets tracked on the blockchain.
Neat.
Yeah. So I've been learning about it because I understand that that's a system that exists in this country, and we can't really get around that at this point.
Yeah, no. Hey,
Yeah.
I heard about Bitcoin.
Yeah?
Yes. What is Bitcoin?
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a digital currency or a cryptocurrency. It's something that uses the blockchain because, like we said, with the digital ledger that everyone has access to in a decentralized manner, that blockchain and Bitcoin kind of marry up with each other, and there's only so much Bitcoin that exists. There's only so many of those tokens that exist on that exchange. So Bitcoin itself is what's called a cryptocurrency.
Yes. Now, when you mention cryptocurrency, I'd like to say, what even is a cryptocurrency?
Oh, well, cryptocurrency is a digital asset. It's something that is, you know what money is, right?
Yes.
Give me an example of what money is.
Well, money is like if you do something good, like if you catch a wanted robber, you might be granted $1,000, and a dollar is like a U.S. Federal Reserve note or a piece of paper with ink on it.
Yeah.
And they call it money, and you use it to buy things. Like you could use it to buy a Lego set, or you could use it to buy a car or a house.
Okay.
Or anything you want.
Okay.
It just depends on the amount of money you have.
Good. So when you exchange your labor, which in your case would be catching a robber and getting the award, which would be in your case $1,000, right?
Yes.
Then you would take that $1,000, and you said you would buy Legos or maybe a car.
Or a house or books or
Yeah.
whatever I want to buy.
That's right. Okay. And those dollars are valuable because you trust that they have value, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that because there's only a certain amount of them that exist? Or is that because somebody says it's worth something?
No, there is like a infinite amount of these dollars, but they hold value because they're not just pieces of paper with ink.
Okay.
They're pieces of paper with ink that are named money and that are worth something. So they are valuable, even though there's like an infinite supply of them.
Well,
they're valuable because you can use them to get other things you need or want.
Good. Okay. Well, there's one correction that I'll make is there's not an infinite supply, but there feels like they're trying to make it that way, right? They keep printing more and more, or keep telling us that there's more and more. They're not actually even printing anymore. They're just adding numbers of dollars. So you do have a good point in that. And there is trust, but I think what you mean to say, or what you're kind of leading towards, is it's legal tender, which means that by law, that is the accepted currency in the U.S., right?
Yes.
Okay. So you do have a really good understanding of that. How old are you right now?
9.5.
Yeah, I'm asking that to remember because that's kind of blowing my mind.
Ha! Yes.
Yeah. So legal tender, U.S. dollars, we have to exchange those regardless of how many exist, right?
Yes. Now tell me, why did you want to know about the meaning of a dollar?
Oh, because cryptocurrency. So when we talk about a currency, right now our currency in the U.S. is the U.S. dollar.
Yes.
Which is from the Federal Reserve. That's a company. That's not even federal. That's like Federal Express, Federal Reserve. They're both companies.
Okay.
So Federal Reserve has a contract with the U.S. government to print dollars. And every time they do that, they get paid more dollars in return.
They get paid dollars for making dollars?
How cool is that? It's a pretty good business to run, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's illegal for you and me to run that business, but it's not for them.
Probably because they need a note from the government, like a Federal Reserve note.
Okay, so currency. Right now, Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies aren't accepted as legal tender, so it's compared to the U.S. dollar. Okay.
Yeah.
But with Bitcoin, we are able to keep a ledger that goes digitally, kept track of, and everybody has access to it. Everyone has the ability to look at every single transaction that ever happened between one address and another. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean everyone has the skill to do that or the equipment to do that, but a good number of people can. So moving forward from that solves one problem, right?
Yes.
It's immutable. Do you know what immutable is?
No.
It cannot be changed.
Yes. No.
Once it happens and is on record. Okay?
Okay. Now tell me, if that cryptocurrency solves one problem, are there any other cryptocurrencies that can solve any other problems?
It's a good point. So the first cryptocurrency that came out simply helps us give an alternate form of currency that cannot be, it's impossible or else the whole thing fails. They can't just add more. There is no Federal Reserve that can just print more because the note from the federal government says print more. So there's only so many. It's a limited supply of immutable assets. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes. Now.
So you asked me about solving other problems, right?
Yes.
Now, what Bitcoin can't do is verify that something happened. So what I'm talking about is a contract. Have you ever signed a contract?
Yes, I've
Yeah? You have. Do you have any examples of a contract you've signed?
Yes, there's one over there.
Yeah? Who was that between?
Me and someone I know.
Okay. Was that an agreement that you made between each other?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So I guess what I'm getting at is that there's contracts that mean you do something, the other person is going to do something else. And to keep that in play, you have a contract, right? So
Yes.
if I want to buy this Lego from you, this whole set, and you tell me, hey, if you give me $10, I'll give you this Lego set. Maybe we agree to it, maybe we don't, maybe you want 100, whatever it is, but we agree to it. But if I get this and I don't give you that money, whether it's currency of US dollar or Bitcoin, there's nothing that holds me accountable, right? But we have a contract. Now, if you have a written contract that says, here, we're going to do this. But if we have a $10 exchange, if we have an agreement or a contract between us that says we want to give it for $10, and we need a third party to execute that, right? If we're doing that with dollars, we need a bank, we need lawyers, we need a title company, because somehow you have to prove that you own this and you're okay with selling it. If we're dealing with something that's $10,000, I have to prove that I got that money to the government, or else my bank can turn around and do other things. There's so many rules and laws. There's so many third parties. But with cryptocurrency, with digital ledgers, we can get rid of, and we don't need to deal with all these third parties.
Well, if we don't have any third parties, how will we make sure that the $10 gets paid for the stuff? Like, if there's no third party, you could just not pay $10 and nobody would be there to, like,
To check it?
him or check it or do anything about it.
So that's when you have a smart contract. A smart contract is something that you and I both agree to that says that I'm going to take $10 out of my digital bank account and hand it to your digital bank account. And as soon as that money goes to your account, that releases this asset to me. And there's a record that shows that it's mine, right?
Yes.
Now, everything's new. This is still only about 10 years old. There's still a lot of things that have to happen. There haven't been a lot of legal precedents that have happened to make this completely legal. So if you and I have a smart contract signed that says we can do this, right? But if, let's say that $10 makes it to your bank and you don't give me this actual asset, and I say, well, hey, Wyatt and I had a smart contract and he broke the contract, we still need to go to a third party, and that third party may not recognize our digital contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is, blockchain can do that. Bitcoin cannot. Bitcoin is a currency. There's a second generation of cryptocurrency called Ethereum. Have you heard of Ethereum?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. So in Ethereum, they solved that problem. They created a program that allows for smart contracts. Okay. And they have their own ETH currency. So you can use Bitcoin or you can use ETH, or it's called ETH. And if you use that as a medium of exchange between two parties, that's fantastic. But you have a smart contract that says this digital thing tells this digital thing that, and if both of those things happen, then there's a transfer of wealth. Okay?
Yes, so are you saying there's the cryptocurrency and the ETH currency?
There are multiple kinds of currency, or digital assets, you could call them.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So there's a problem with ETH, though.
What is that?
When they wrote the programming behind ETH, they have what's called gas fees. And it's a neat way to say how much it costs to do business. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So when we had when I ask you to wash the dishes and I'll give you $1, you wash the dishes, I give you the $1. Our gentleman's agreement is accomplished. You get the $1 bill, right?
Yeah.
Now we want to do this with digital currency. And you wash the dishes and here's $1. And we value that in Bitcoin. I would transfer $1 worth of Bitcoin to your wallet and $1 worth of Bitcoin. Boom, it's done. It costs money to transfer. It doesn't cost me any money to take that $1 bill and hand it to you, right? It just takes time and effort.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now with ETH, it costs money to do that. So when we had contracts and it would cost a certain number of ETH.
It would cost money to get money?
Yeah, but a little bit, because somebody has to get paid to run the pools. Somebody has to get paid to mine the tokens. Somebody has to get paid to execute the contracts, right?
Yes, of course.
I mean, that's a job that has to be done, and they get reimbursed for that.
Yes.
But here's the interesting thing. Their programming is not accurate, and they're trying to rewrite their program into 2.0. They're trying to make it new, but they're way, way behind in that programming.
What do you mean by they're way, way behind?
Well, the fact that we execute a $10 trade, right?
Yes.
If we want to do that and we use ETH, how much do you think it should cost us? If we're gonna reasonably pay for somebody to have a smart contract in the system, how much out of that $10 do you think we should give somebody?
We would probably have to give them, if doing a $1 thing would be like $3 to $4, then I think doing a $10 thing would probably be about $14.
You and I must have talked about the problems with the gas fees already, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in reality, what's fair, if you and I are exchanging money and we're using that smart contract, it probably should only cost 4 or 5 or maybe 50 cents, a small portion of the total transaction fee, right?
Yes, yes.
Using ETH and their programming code, it actually costs more money than it costs to execute the actual asset exchange. So the smart contract programming, and it takes a long time to make it happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, in that case we need to dig out something that's fast and something that doesn't give you more money than you needed in the contracts. Like something that doesn't give you more money for the money you were already paid in the contract.
Yeah. So I think you're kind of leading on to the fact that we have a third generation of blockchain technology that's in the works, isn't there?
We do? And what is that?
You know what that is.
I know that is. I'm just pretending not to know.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yes, Cardano.
Cardano.
Yes. So Cardano is a program that exists. It's actually kind of a new whole thing. There's a whole ecosystem around Cardano,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's a smart contract is not there yet. We'll say that right up front. They don't have the smart contracts yet on their main net, but they are running smart contracts on their test net.
Yes.
But we can get into that in detail later. But what's important for people to understand and to know is that Cardano is a third generation blockchain technology that does solve the problem of cryptocurrencies.
Ah, yes.
It allows for its own thing. It also allows for what do you want to call it? Smart contracts are coming, right? And they've even added a new thing with their programming called ETH20, ERC20 converter, which allows everybody that's already doing business with Ethereum to come over to the Cardano network. And then when that happens, that helps out. So all of the smart contracts that are already existing don't have to be rewritten. They can just be converted into this program. I know I'm losing you, aren't I?
No.
No?
I've still got you.
Yeah?
Now, what do you plan on doing with your knowledge and with your knowledge of blockchain in the future?
Well, what I'm doing with it right now is I am learning still, right?
Yes.
I only started into this a few months ago. It was January of 2021, right?
Yes.
Blockchain has been around for a while. Bitcoin's been around for less time. Ethereum's been around for a shorter amount of time. And Cardano is new. It was really ideated in 2015. What you doing down there?
Nothing.
Okay. And then in 2017, right around there, they launched their tokens. A little before that, and then it went up and it came back down. Understand that this is all very new. And because everything is so new, it's still trying to find its value as compared to that US dollar. You got it. And because of that, that's where there's price volatility. That's where there's changes in how much things are worth, because that part of it is very new.
Yes.
So I found all that out. I learned about that pretty quick. Once I learned about what blockchain was, and then I started learning about what everything else I had to do with Bitcoin. And when I found Cardano, and I realized that, okay, here's a growing cryptocurrency, here's a growing economy around all of this. There's a much bigger mission behind Cardano. And I wanted to get down to the very, very bottom understanding of what's coming out of it and what's going with it. So you would ask me what my interest is in it right now?
No, I asked you, what do you plan on doing with your interests in the future?
Gotcha. Well, what I plan on doing right now is to continue to learn myself. I want to participate in all the programming. And by learning, I mean I want education. I want to learn, and I want to teach you.
Yes.
I want to participate in this decentralized world. So when I say decentralized, we talked about how all the different players are. There's what's called stake pools, and I can get into that detail later on. But I want to even create my own stake pool because I want to be a part of that decentralized world.
Yes.
Okay.
Now that we've covered through all the main topics, I'd like to tell you fans a special surprise. Ken Adams is my dad.
Yes, I am.
And now,
There's something else we should probably tell everybody too.
yeah,
I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but the fact that we live in a very litigious world, do you know what that means?
no,
That means that a lot of people might take advice, and it may be good advice, it may be bad advice. But sometimes some people like to litigionize, but no, I'm kidding. What it is they want to lawyer up and they might sue somebody because they made a choice based on what somebody else told them or talked about in front of them. So we have to add a caveat. Look at me. You and I, we just talked about financial things and money, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that what I'm doing is giving you financial advice?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, I can do that because I'm talking to my son. This is a father and son conversation.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But for you, our guests, our fans,
Yes.
our family, and our friends,
Yes.
this is just two dudes having a conversation about the things that we think we know about. This is a dad talking to his son, sharing with him what I think he might want to consider learning about. You don't even need to do this stuff yet, do you?
No, but I'm Wyatt Adams, and I'm signing out.
You're signing out? I'm not done. There's still a pretty important piece of this conversation.
Well, okay, I'll stay back in
Okay, cool.
for a few minutes. Then.
Few minutes? All right, so we're getting close, right?
Yeah.
We can do a mid-roll advertisement.
Okay.
All right, what do you want to advertise?
We said we could advertise Batman: The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, okay. That might get us into some litigious issues. Did you ask permission?
No.
No. But you're using it in a way to promote something that you like, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll try and get away with that one.
Okay.
All right, you ready to come back to the conversation?
Yeah.
Because you asked about the future.
Yes.
And I think you're leading on to a good topic, and I think we should cover that.
Yes.
Blockchain exists.
Yes.
Bitcoin still exists. US
Yes.
dollar still exists.
Yes.
All those things are in place.
Yes.
It's the digital currency part of the world is really new and really young.
Yes. Totally. Yes.
And just like if you had a 4.5-year-old sister or brother, they probably need some more help, don't they?
Yes. I like saying yes.
I know you do.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So listen, I'm trying to find a way to help out and let that grow even more, because this to me is not just about the currency, right?
Yes.
This is, to me, is about the project and the programs and what this technology can do for everyone on this globe.
Yes.
Because decentralization is going to have to happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Right. So here's my goal. I want to get involved in what's called Project Catalyst, which is like a subset of the Cardano ecosystem.
Yes.
It's where all the people go to who want to learn about Project Catalyst.
Yes.
You
What?
do like saying yes. Don't you?
Yes. 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 Yes.
This
Yes.
is a good indication
Yes,
that I've
yes,
totally lost your attention,
Yes.
isn't it? Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, I can't take that out. That's fantastic.
Yes.
You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have any special messages for everybody?
Yes.
Well, Wyatt, I want to say thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for having me on your show, Dad.
You're welcome.
I mean, wait, this is my show. Thank you for presenting yourself on my show as a part of it.
You're welcome. You're most welcome.
You're welcome, because I love you, Dad.
No, I love you too.
I love you too.
Any closing statements for the audience?
Wyatt Adams is signing up. Do 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 do.
Love you.
I love you even more.
Aw. Give me back. Okay.
That's all, folks.